ansa na ye kono na say Easter day abewura Church of Christ mu. Easter day no a ebewura Church of Christ mu no ama aso no emu apai. Ya benya womo a ewo Asia Minor. Ena ya benya womo a ewo Rome. Asia Minor fo no womo date womo di Easter no etoto esisi. Womo a ewo Rome no aye se ye Easter day esese e follow ewo kwasi ada so. Enti Rome fo no ye se Asia Minor fo ni nyintum na ye nyina ye ni kwasi ada. Ena Asia Minor fo no se ye mpene. Enam saade enu nti papa bi efe no Victor ya owo Rome no watu Church of Christ ye wo Asia Minor no nyina wa bo mo asen say omonya Church of Christ fo biewu enti biaye kese e da ho saa no Church of Christ ye wo mu no ye tu omo ye disfellowship. They have been excommunicated. Say you from Church of Christ ya enye yie. Na no na meka kire wo say saa ekwan no aye nua Victor efa aso no enye ekwan papa enye onyamesem asori bi entumi entu asori bi ensen eye awade Yesu na wo saa atumi no a odi this fellowship congregation saa congregation we say enye me de abiewu eye saa nsam no ye kenkan ewo Revelation chapter 2 and 3 no say wan koye okane nnwuma no a meba beyi kanea no ne dua no e de afiri baabi a esie na se ba ne sa isum e ne beduru asore no ti baabi eduru ya ayepon eno no. At this time it was generally believed that all bishops were of equal authority and Victor was considered out of place by such action. The churches of Asia would not change, and Irenaeus got Victor to withdraw his rash declaration. And to be who say ade a Victor aye no enye the papa bi e friend no Irenaeus e yire Victor by we say bema de waye no twesan now ede asem na sa ade we e ka kire wo say we ya Church of Christ ni now who say we Church of Christ ni so yo asempa kani o oye elder o omo ye elders yo ana asore ba oye de enya ka kire no fa onyame asem so na ka kire no enti nyame adom wa twa asan se otu asore no efiri asore ni mu a enye yie but arehosem hwede esi ye each continued its own practice until the first General Council in 325 AD decided in favor of the Roman position. Sadia itra hwa kwapem say Church of Christ nyina ye say nyina ye nkosia na say ye kwa akosia ye kosia ye kwa akotake decision enti ebro nkosia yom take sa decision no and am say the Rome churches na decide no eno ano no say Church of Christ in fa nyamesam and take decision biu na mom ababa dane majority carries the vote. Metie Bodesiama for so long no asem ba ko otai kan say Church of Christ enye democratic church nye democracy nye the Church of Christ but the see yan say no aso no abedane democratic dispensation. Enti nyina kosia hwanum na gitum se ye ni Easter kwasi ada ye the noes have it and the yes have it eno ano no Church of Christ. Enti yakwaji atum se ye ni Easter kwasi ada Rome for no awi ni. This was another step in exaltation of the Roman bishops. Enti wenso aye ekwan baako a ye di dipin owaye no a ye waye no baabi amene waduro yi manije ma reho se me ne wo ba befa baabi yaduro yi mo openyini no book a otro ya efe no Eternal Kingdom no oduru ha topic ya ode to so no ofre no the increase of error. There be a wadru no. Increase of error. Chese and your body aba so nim say de emu bepi. Kwase why nkwan. Now won kwan no, wadru nchira say e light dodo. Now there see just one evaporation take place. Afen nkwan no na pi. They say and someone here aba Church of Christ mu no. Openyini matos ka kire say ba bia yadro yi emu bepi. Ede na bema emu api a ofre no the influence of Constantine. Ta fe na bra Constantine oba church ni mu. Na yemododo no a yama yani abere ewo amanyosem ho no. Obiara a wasua de ewo ewiase no. Obesua ba behunu say at any given point in time no, there should always be the separation between the church and the state. Abiribia asore ade no ko for amanyosem no. Aso no ahwe ase e na yehunu. Yan kan hwe a Ghana ha yeti. Na na Akufo Addo ba say obesi cathedral e de amawurade. Na cathedral no a obesie no eye ono na Akufo Addo. Ana o try every edika boss of Mampeni 2008 no anye yi. O try 2012 no anye yi. Enti o share onyame bose. So we hana eno onyame de ni bi o. Sa Awurade woyɛ madom ama metumba bedi Ghana Mampeni a Messi aso dan e de ama. Hana wanka se medi obi ba e na bɛkyɛ wo. Sa ma me oba na ma me oba banyini a me de sa abofra no bɛbɔ afɔde ama. Na bɛtena ofie ne nkwa na nyina. Na Akufo Addo ba aye no akwa frɛfrɛ Ghana ha so to speak asɔfo akukudam. Ana do am kwato cathedral board ne so. Say asɔfo na ekɔ hɔ no bia ne conscience ɛyɛ adwuma bia no wa resign. Aje brother kusi mensa. Brother kusi de na ogusu ho, kusi boatin. Ono de apostle onye. Aje so apam no. Afi yentie de abakosam ka kire yen. Efa Constantine ho. Constantine the Great, as he later became known, grew up in the midst of the intrigue and jealousy of the ruling class of the Romans. In the Constantine, no, baby a onyini ye no, chese obi anya ya na nke ho e na obenyini. Chese ofiri efi papem. Asema ye kanyina no. In 292 AD, he was taken to the court of Diocletian, ostensibly to be educated, but actually as a hostage. And they found in the court Diocletian, na him fie. Na botaya de ne kwa wan se onko sua de. Na nso so adwenpo na taya kire no na ya fa no nomum Constantine no. Enti akọ no na nka ye ma na mabio. When Diocletian abdicated in 305, Constantine fled to join his father, who had been governing Britain, Gaul, and Spain. Constantius, his father, had been favorably expressed by the Christians and had protected them as far as possible. His mother, Helena, has espoused the Christian religion. And you have you see, abra, the Christian, you two na so no. Constantine edwane na obeka ne papa ho ebra na ne papa edi Britain ga eso no obeka ne papa ho ne ebehunu sa ne papa na ne je Kristofo ho a oye Kristofo papa ne maame Helena nso so na ne je Kristosom ho a ono nso so eye Kristofo papa asase no sa ye kama te aban mu nipa emma Kristofo favors enter the papa. At this time, the empire had 4 emperors. Diocletian and Maximian had the title of Augusti, while Constantinus and Garilius were Caesars. Enti ahinia no mwache enan yefra ebinum Augustus and yefra ebinum Caesars. When Diocletian and Maximian abdicated in 305, Constantius and Galerius became Augusti. In 306, Constantius died and his army proclaimed Constantine Augustus. Enti Constantine ne papa wawu. Na owu ye no, na asojafo no eche Constantine. Se ejabi wu a, ejabi ti ase. Enti say de Constantine wa ba be emperor. Your friend Augustus. There followed a period of conflicts, out of which Constantine emerged sole emperor in the west. Enti ahinia no a emu achecha enan no. Se Constantine atumi aka mienu abom e mo no no di so. Enti aka mienu a eno de ye wo atifi ho, ye no so so esese okokodi so. Enti hwede ye besie. He then decided to try to unify the empire under his authority. Tafei oyenadwene say ahinia enan no a emu acheche no obeka nan ni nyina abom na wadi so. Na so obedi so a ede no beye. On his way to Rome to effect the overthrow of his opposition, he is said to have seen the sign of a cross in the sky with a statement under it, "By this conquer." Enti yase eno de obi a ehu Constantine no ano se ohunu yi. Na na nkwan so na sojafo na ekọ no ano. Ana Awurade bue nani. Na Awurade bue nani a opagya nani hwe osoro no. Na Awurade Yesu asendua ena sen ho no mo a eto adonkoi. Asendua na se ena ya tro se fa saa cross yi fa di enkunim. Tisa washa even up till now Rome, baby a pope no te no a asojafo ebo ne ho ban no omkuta shield tetede enu bi cross sign eda so. This is the idea behind it. Enti by this conquer. In 323 AD, Constantine defeated Licinius, who had been a claimant to the throne and a persecutor of Christians. Out of this conflict, he emerged sole emperor. Enti Constantine, ampa okoye no, wakodi nkunim. Say empire no ane mu acheche enan no. Ye ni nyina ba be hye nase, ema ono na odi so. The part Christianity played in Constantine's thinking is difficult to determine. Say ebetumi akere de Christosom yama no sa abre no de yentumi nka. During his early reign, it is doubtful that he accepted without reservation the idea of Christ as the Son of God and Jehovah as the only God. Yebetumi aka a achinyidie bia ni ho. Sa Constantine no oba behunu say Christosom aye osom a etumi ka enipa ebom. Yehu Nyankopon aye onyame a tumi nyina ye ne de Constantine ebehunu sa ade no. Chano de oba bagidi enti wade ade ono eno ne nam hoyi. At least he outwardly supported the Christian religion and used it for his purposes. Tihaye. Enti Constantine, history say abonte no na oye a Christopher no papa. Nebom, you say there is nothing like free lunch. The papa oye nyina no na ahoma eteteto. Oye papa no so atwe ahoma kakra. Ya oye sa de no. To oye papa de, na so papa no onya homfa so a onye. He, no doubt, recognized its value as a unifying force, for he decided to stake his all on its support. Oba be hunu say a Christopher tieni ye o Sabre nyina no the Council of Nicaea emem. Nanso sabre nyina no Constantine be hunu say a Christopher eye unified. The busuafo ntie ne ye. Sabre nyina no Constantine hunu say a Christopher e won kabom. Enti ode na ho ode nyina support we na ono de ode achieve the political scores. When Constantine marched on Rome, he overthrew with 40,000 men an army of 170,000. According to Rome, no, or the 40,000 asojafo, to me at the asojafo 170,000 so enkunim. There's a 70,000 in army no ebru. Nanso otumi di won so nkunim. Owie na asam okaye ni. Since his movement up to this time had been cautious, it requires some explanation to understand his rash decisions to fight against such odds. The history can say, Sabi, asam we dey hia nkyerɛkyerɛm. Sabadia no obi a ukura asojafo 40,000. No obi kura asojafo 170,000 no. Obeka se ono obo kokko. Obi a unim military architecture no sa de we onye. Enti ye hia nkyerɛkyerɛm. Na ubusa nkyerɛkyerɛm ni wi a tie Constantine anu ya yebenya. The truth seems to be that he came under the conviction that the God of the Christians was the strongest supernatural force in the world. The Constantine conviction kyerɛ no sɛ Yehowa Nyankopɔn no a yɛn akristofoɔ yɛ som no no tumi bie ni hɔ agye Awurade tumi. Politician no. And now Church of Christ preacher onyaye obetu aduro. Ebra politician ehunu sɛ Yesu etumi na so no. A series of circumstances led him to this decision. Sinema bebre ya ono Constantine wa hunu no. And the boy no ema no arrive to this conclusion. Church of Christ aban hwehwe yen ya obede ye hu yen. Aban hwehwe yen ya obede ye hu yen. Aban hwehwe no be so ohun a onum ba bi awo. Now ebra Constantine ya sa na ma we nyina no. Yese hwifo se obi ye opapa na wa haw. Ana se won san so obi anum a ye pa na pampam. Today so fa kwan bia so ema aso ne nsa ebe hye nanum. Na dia no beye. It's say odi ne sika o invest e wa aso onim. Support of the church. Constantine not only gave assurance that there would not be more persecution, he began to favor Christianity as though it was a state religion. Asema shase eba. Enti Constantine ebedi ade no na Diocletian o maye kunkum a Christopher no. But the brother Constantine ebedi ade no oyusu ne power no ema ye jai. Enti ekwami so no na the relief abre a Christopher no. Abakosam say enya no nko ano ye. O shase ema a Christopher no emfaso bebre te sade church no eye oman no asore. To my church no favors. On my church no favors. Now you say why na a war so good na no a obey unity. Now enema bi oye ni. He first decreed that all church buildings should be returned and the state would reimburse those who had obtained possession of them. Tisabre answer Constantine eba no. I saw that Christopher no sumo no na oman no age. To asem na se yemfa asofo aso dan ema wom. E no san so adwiri huhunu se e ka bia oman no ama aso no abo no. Oman no betua. Te Constantine asemra se yenye saade no na yemfa ma wom. He then began to encourage the construction of additional elaborate buildings and authorized that state money be given to the Christians for this purpose. After Constantine na sha a Christopher in crime. Church of Christ former so down esusadodo Constantine e ka say you musi asodan kitenkete dodo enti musisi asodan a esoso na asodan kase no amusie no se muni sika power oman no bema musika na wo de asi enye loan eye fame kwa we hwa na nka enye enya fe na ebesi yo asem wa asi na meme ka tro keke enti wa hemra musisi asodan kase oman no mo fa sika nko na church no ensisi asodan akese na yemfanya sa Eusebius preserves for us an imperial letter to the Bishop of Carthage in which Constantine authorized 3,000 foles to be paid Cilician, the bishop, to be distributed to the ministers. Papa bia your friend Eusebius. Openyin ma talk say ne letter no or the bia to ho e de amayen. Krata Constantine de nsa etroy. Na o instruct to authorities say Church of Christ a preacher for no say aban ntu omoka. Mo fa preacher for no to pay rules so. Enti they say preacher for no be pay after aban ho. The letter states that if this is not sufficient to take care of all of them, that the Commissioner of Finance in Africa, has Constantine's own instruction to supply out of his funds whatever additional the bishop would request. Oriana ode oshe esantai to Africa ha. Sabre Minister of Finance ya owa Africa no. Constantine tro krata abre and say hey sika na nso sika bia a preacher for no hia no betumi da ya adwuma no tuama wo o man ni ntua da we hwa na mpewe say na kufu ado say Church of Christ a preacher for obetua ka wonye obeji ampara obeji ente Constantine wa sha emra say yentua emfama wo. Besides building meeting houses and paying ministers, Constantine issued decrees that ministers should be excused from all public offices so they could give their time without interruption to the work of the church. When the SDA4 at the board you charge no. Constantine and they be changing memory that some the kwasi that some na hwan there be o anuanom. Ansa na oba no makwasi ada a working day. The whole Church of Christ ni. Kwasi ada o man ya wotim ni se yankoya adwuma. Oba de aba asore. O man se kwadwuma, oba de aba asore. Te se yate hey ko United Arab Emirates ya kwasi ada o de kwa asore. Efi ada e ne yankwa asore. Cause if you ada no obekwa the mosque. Enti kwasi ada a working day e wo ho. Don't your man say wa wudi agura ye be yi wadi. See the Constantine by yan say there be mo ana mo come asore question dada. Ti sa working day na be hye ho no ye nyin free ho. Ade o ye no no. Enti wa be sa wa be yi sa de no e de a free ho. Sa de be ya a preacher for no be nya bre e da koye o church. In this decree, Constantine said it was the divine providence that was responsible for the welfare of mankind. And Chinatown was who? Constantine ya asem we nyina wie ya. Not the question Erade. Sabi ya o ye nyina no. Ono Constantine o hene no. Erade na ada ne hwan di a kire no. Sabi ya o ye no. Onya sa obi so yodi ifo. Ai, o the question Erade. Sabi o ye no o ye dia ma enipa yie yo. In order to preserve the unity of the church, Constantine took a hand in all internal affairs. Obi o papa na wa ha. I say aso ne betumi aka abo mu ne de e na say Church of Christ no. Ya kwaya meeting ne yakohia na omanpanyin no otimbi. Omanpanyin no politician no. Aso ne meeting, church meeting no na omanpanyin atimbi. The Constantine the Timono. A difference arose in Carthage in regard to the ordination of Cilician by an accused traitors. Donatus, about 311, created a faction in opposition to Cilician. When word of this reached Constantine, he ordered that Cilician with 10 bishops who favored his cause and 10 bishops who opposed him proceed to Rome so that the matter could be tried by a synod under Constantine's authority and supervision. Church of Christ yanya maintain me ho ase. Enti ya try say yanya be so ovu yasem. Constantine te ya kro say, "Hey! Asem we mo am so ovu a enye yie. Mo abanya asem ni nyina mu ntu kwan na mo mra nkran, mo mra Rome. Na mo be hia ho no a asofo ni nyina be bodwa synod no, ase akofre biem. Na mom onipa onna obe supervise meeting no, eye me or therefore Constantine. Now we are rough for one who say power be as the power be. Think of where to Kwaba. Constantine's favoritism to the church seemed to be more a matter of expediency than for a conviction. The church was to be used as a center of unity and culture to preserve the empire. Tell you, Constantine, no, and then Yamesam. Never ordering a hini. Because we are going to say, Church of Christ, and the better Miaka, a hini, at the abum. Constantine had his son, Crispus, put to death in 326 upon charges of treason brought to him by his wife, Foster. Neba, ya wa wono no. Oshai ama yekum neba no. Constantine. Na de enje yekum ne say, ya bo akwala ne charge efa abantuguo eho. Now Church of Christ preacher, church leader, elder, sa asem we e de na ka kire wo. Papa no ayekwaye asori meeting a, ono ya chairman. Ya all render supervision no. Wa hye ama yekum neba. E de nyamesam e de na we. Nyamesam na ka kire say so obi bo waso benkum mu a, dan ni fa ka homa no. Constantine no hwere di anim no, ne ba na dwen kire ne say odi nkwase asem no, yaku no. Asore no ko rewura amanyosem mu a, de esie no no. We say Church of Christ ne kokum ni panka, ye disfellowship no. Wo be ma tu na na free aso mi ehwe. Wo be ma tu no. Obi ansa gu nachi. Soon after that, he became displeased with Fausta, also, and ordered her execution. Perhaps more important to this consideration is the fact that he kept his position as chief priest of the pagan state religion. And the Church of Christ koye meeting a ochimuno. Abosomofo nso koshia ono a chief priest. Obo fa dade efa. Oh dear, said the can win more somewhere that no. None of these things can be said to be in harmony with Christianity or Christians. Constantine, however, continued to favor Christians. One was say, ya green enough in Yamsam, not the Yakayane and one aban at the Babylon. Till or hidden what dear woo ya will be any mono, will be a Jamaica. Or discover them so na yaje. David because you saw that boy Yankopon oje. Moja e wo nsa hododo. So Church of Christ asase e eje ohia odi awuo esika. Enchen ayira ne de. Ayira ne da yemfa anya ma hwe biew. Ye hwegu fam ne tieti aso sa enchene no ne ye de ye bi. Sa bra mo nche om yusu na eye abo enchene. Etu di gu ensuo mu a na enche no alichi abansuo nim te ensuo no wo mu yusu no enti ohoro enche ni free abo ni mu a afei abo no enya hwe biew ye tugu fam asem we ho no ana ya ka cho sa na Constantine oye He issued an edict against soothsayers, forbidding them recognition or favor from any man. One of his best known decrees related to working on Sunday. In this, he states that all judges, city people, and craftsmen shall rest on the venerable day of the sun. As if was no, as ya baby. Enti Constantine, I saw the man in area, you know. And I saw share emra. Wa be ifo e wa hanom a hweye no wa me ya hu se wa be ifo. We are magician ya, eme hu se we are magician. They say the aso no an ye de bobra. O share sam bra ni nyina wie ye no. Ana o share emra foforo se kwasia dadu a wo ye judge a enkwaduma. Aduma bi a wo ye no enkwaduma. Obi a ntire fie na ohome. No you use the word vulnerable day of the sun. And then the SDA for say there's some sun God, no, and we another discussion for another day. He states, however, that farmers could work on Sunday if their crops required it. This decree has been considered by some to be the earliest authority for Christian worship on this day and constituting a change from Saturday to Sunday. This, however, is not the case. Christians had been worshipping on the first day of the week from the beginning. This decree favored worship on Sunday by forbidding work on that day. Somewhere that one, no. Constantine, I'm a change. Now, I'm so free. Meaning that uncle Kwesiada, no boom. Ebe wine, say a sum Kwesiada no. Ebe sum a war, asum dream. Thus, making it possible for Christians to give themselves to worship without affecting their occupations unnecessarily. And to hear Juma, but to make a Juma na waba church. Baby, I had the Council of Nicaea. The baby, I had the Council of Nicaea. No, Yankee Kaya Humbum, Yankoye meeting. Yankee Kaya Humbum, Yankoye meeting. A B and a dahe. Unfortunately, I can't ochna one section. Now I grown up and read. Into one war outline, read ahead of me. Now me I don't know say about ochna. You better say the free ho. The Council of Nicaea. Even we kind of the Council of Nicaea. The Council of Nicaea no. A day na a quatrain sa de no. A de buy. Onkwasiya no. A day na a see. No musia wie no. A day sunsanso and a de bread asafo no. Asamu da ho no. So who say dey wey now the Church of Christ ni onokwafo abusuafo na se wani adaso edi akuakuo achi a ho be me nwanwa papa ho be me nwanwa na ebra me kenkan book yi me call Bible college na ya sanso ede me fa mu kire me mu no afei ema me suo ne ema bebre e wo church ni mu na me hunu sa Amponsah na ni ate me fa we nyawo ya say practice make man perfect ya fa no sa eda ya wu Yesu no a e na ye bo Amponsah ya fa no sa Yesu ba wi ase e ko ye e di fie sai ato ha le betu aka kire 2023 Yo, 2020, what do you find 2000? It went to go actually. And I say practice make man perfect. And this said that you yes. And you walk on someone. You find already 2000 years. And I want practice one year for the past 2000 years. And the experience no day. And one who painting. Ye painting bi ani ayabro nsam tum no to etua beben o to adua na eja e wonanum nani ko no okura dan o san kura ba anuanum enti obi a ayabro nsam kwan a o hwa ko atum o tua beben nani ko nanum ja na otua podua ya tete hai ebi ade oche won chen no obonsam a na make akere wo and what did the sa obeso mo atwo yira de and what ko obonsam gem ba betra asonim na atemu da no Yesu asem a oka no Matthew chapter 7:21 no abemu wo ho fidimi sukọ minimu wa wo ye the entry na wo ye preacher na wo hwe ase a danger ya ewo mu ni say preacher bia hwe ase a enye ono nko na hwe ase nya nko na hwe ase sade nkrofo adwentro mo say wonya correct sade tie bia na wo nkrofo bi wo no mo a ono ne wa na bewuo nokura ho no ni preacher anu nti sade tie bia na ne tua sade ya wuyi ya o keka de yanso sa woka na ne tua pa sade ya wuyi enya nso one wonam ti ma de sade ne se wo enipa ti sade a fa okwan papa no eso amen.